Hi everyone, this is Geeta NG from Shri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. Today we are going to learn about the topic is typical residual network architecture in deep learning neural network. Let us see the contents. The contents of this topic is introduction, understanding in residual learning and role of skip connections in the residual network learning, architecture of the residual network and the conclusion. Let us see the introduction. Here, introduction is the residual network. It was mostly emerged with this and the winner of the ILSVRC in the 2015 challenge, with showcasing its expectational ability to handle the unpredicted depth in neural networks. This residual network, it as the winner of the ILSVRC in the 2015 challenge and its exceptional ability to handle the unprecedented depth in neural networks. This residual network, it is the key innovation. It lies in its use of it mainly it in use of the skip connections and also it's known as the short connections. It is fundamentally change how the deep networks are trained. This is the introduction of the residual network architecture. And then the typical residual network is mainly it is the core idea behind the residual network, residual learning. Instead of directly fitting a desired underlying mapping, the residual network fits a residual mapping by using the equation as f of x equals to h of x minus x into f of x equals to h of x minus x. By using this equation, directly fitting a desired underlying map, residual network fits a residual mapping. This shift simplifies the learning process by focusing on learning the residual. This equation f of x equals to h of x minus x into f of x equals to h of x minus x. This shifts, it simplifies the learning process of the residual network and also by focusing on learning the residual and also the difference between this. This residual between the target function and its input rather than learning the entire mapping from scratch. This is the useful of the residual learning in deep learning neural network. The skip connections in an residual network. The typical residual network architecture, there are some skip connections. Like in residual network, the skip connections, this is a more important, it's a more crucial. By using this, by adding the skip connections that bypass certain layers and fed earlier inputs directly into and deeper layers. And this means the skip connections in the residual network these are the most crucial, and by adding these skip connections that the bypass certain layers and the feed earlier inputs directly into the deep layers, and this residual networks ensures that the gradient signal and it can also flow back more easily during the training. This is the role of the skip connections. The skip connections mainly bypass the certain layers and dispatch the earlier inputs directly into deeper layers, and this ensures that the gradient signal can flow back more. This can flow back more during the training period. This technique enables the network to effectively combat the vanishing gradient problem associated with very deep networks. In this residual network, in a deep learning network, this skip connections enables the network to effectively combat the vanishing gradient problem associated with the architecture of residual network in deep learning neural network. This is the here residual networks is one of the typical architecture. This is one of the typical residual network architecture. It consists of an stacking the multiple residual units. Mainly the residual network architecture, it consists of the multiple residual units, and each residual unit typically includes the two or more convolutional layers by culminating in a skip connection. By using a skip connections that sums the input with the output of the stacked layers. In the architecture of a residual network in a deep learning neural network means here it consists of the many stacking layers with multiple say, stacking residual units, and each residual unit typically includes and two or more convolutional layers and also and culminating in a skip connection. This sums the input with the output of the stacked layers. This the architecture of an residual network. It allows the residual network to scale up to hundreds of layers while maintaining the effective training. This is the mostly mainly it consists of an stacking multiple residual units. By each residual unit is a one of the typically includes of two or more convolutional layers and culminating in a skip connections. These convolutional layers and skip connections that sums the input with the output of the stacked layers, and this architecture it allows the residual network to scale up to an hundred of layers and it maintain an effective training. Next, conclusion of the residual network in a deep learning neural network. Here, the typical residual networks, it is the innovative use of skip connections and it is an residual learning. Fundamentally, it's changed the landscape of an deep neural networks. It's allowing for unprecedented depths of an architectures with improved training stability and an efficiency It mainly allows the improving the training stability and an efficiency. This approach has since influenced numerous subsequent architectures and it remains a cornerstone in the field of deep learning, particularly in an computer vision tasks. This is about the typical residual network in and deep learning neural networks. Thank you.